about a man who has lost literally everything that he cares about. And in searching for answers as to how that happened, he gets sucked into this world that he kind of belongs in more than he knows. I'm just going to start reading. Okay, guys, be cool. Don't say anything. You don't want to mess with this fucker. I've heard some messed up shit. Eggs looked around wildly and grabbed Mark by the shoulders. Although it had been almost a week, Mark was sure he was still wearing the same jeans and tank top. Just don't. You don't want to fuck around here, okay? Bird and Mark nodded cautiously. What am I getting myself into? Mark wondered, approaching the house. This place that even a complete degenerate like Eggs seemed afraid to enter. The Crow. He pictured a large brute waiting for them inside, sharpening a knife, snorting lines of cocaine off the ass of a heroin addict, ready for anyone who wanted to fuck with him or his stash. The three waited quietly, listening for any movement inside. Eggs stood in front and knocked on the door 4 distinct times. He wrung his tattooed fingers and shifted his weight left then right. The door shot open just enough to reveal a small, dark-haired woman, about 35, probably his help. She gave Eggs a hard look, then leaned sideways to look at the other 2 men. The gold chain held the door in place, cutting her small face in half. This guy looks like a cop. Her voice sounded like gently crunching leaves. Her arctic eyes penetrated Mark's. He's too clean. He's cool, he's my buddy. He's the one I was telling you about yesterday. Remember? Eggs leaned in to whisper. Whose wife died? Remember? Right. She checked Mark out for an uncomfortably long time before opening the door all the way. Well, come the fuck in, she shouted as she sauntered into the living room. Lock the door behind you. Bird and Eggs followed her, while Mark inspected the 7 deadbolts on the door, just like Bird's place, only more extreme. He carefully locked each one and made his way to the living room. There was no furniture, other than a round glass-top coffee table and an easy chair with the questionable stains. Pillows and blankets covered everything, all littered with bits of old food and discarded wrappers. Mark uneasily sat at the table with the others, the woman on one side, the men on the other, all sitting on the floor, cross-legged like in grade school. So, I heard about Carroll. It's sad what happened. How did she know Carroll's name? Kids, too? The Crow pulled out a cigarette and fumbled with her lighter. Her stick-like fingers, topped with chipped black polish, trembling too hard to flick the flint. Bird leaned over the table and lit it for her. She nodded at him and took a drag. Mark examined her long, frizzy hair, veiny arms, and full lips. His eyes caught on her braless breasts, and his pulse quickened. When he looked up to her eyes, she was staring back at him. Intricate shades of blue and gray contrasted with the pinks and reds that surrounded them. She might have been pretty, once upon a time. How did you know her? Mark asked flatly. What? She looked shocked. I thought you said her name. Nope. I swear, maybe I saw it on the news. So, what do you want? She took another drag and blew smoke in his face. 1, please. He tried to sound confident. She looked at him sideways and snickered. 1 what? 1 gram, 1 hit, 1 date, 1 fuck? I'll have $1 million bucks, please. What the fuck do you want? She laughed harder, her shrill cackle lengthening like ominous music, tentacles ready to squeeze his innards. One of those inhaler things. Oh, you want some rap? Is that what it's called? Short for rapture. You know, like getting up real high, meeting God. It's good shit. She settled back on her throne of pillows and squared off with him. Are you sure you want this? I mean, after what happened to your wife? She looked at Bird, then over to Eggs, who nodded silently, vouching for Mark. What does she know? Okay. She disappeared into the kitchen and returned holding a stun gun in one hand and an inhaler in the other. Keeping the weapon out in front of her, she settled back on the floor. Let me see the money. Mark carefully reached into his pocket and pulled out a stack of 10s. They're purple one from, by the way. He counted 4 of them and pushed the pile towards the woman. She left it sitting in the center of the dirty glass surface and slid 2 inhalers towards him. He picked it up, unsure of how to act. She took one and placed it in his hands. I know how you take it, Mark snapped. My wife, she had asthma. The crow stifled laughter. Mark didn't appreciate it. This isn't asthma medicine, dude. Bert was looking at him wildly. Did you forget? You've got to be careful not to forget when you're getting high. One time, I forgot I smoked some fucking rock, and when I worked for this whole food organic type place, I went to work and ended up running out of there with 6 chickens in my arms. I thought I had to save them, you know? A fucking demon told me so. I was dropping chickens all over the street. There were fucking chickens everywhere, man. That shit sneaks up on you, man. Fuck. The inhaler looked just like the one his wife had used. It brought back memories of her lips, her hands, the way her bright red fingernails ticked on the plastic sides. He could picture the way she would take a deep breath after sucking in the medication. The medication. He remembered the euphoric look that would slide over her face, one that he'd interpreted as relief. Anger built in his stomach when the woman snatched the inhaler out of his hand. What the fuck is your problem? Mark's belly was rumbling with heat. Actually, you fucking bitch, what is your problem? You think I'm just some yuppie idiot, some fucking asshole who couldn't keep track of his own life? You seem to be accusing me of something here, and I just don't get it. There was a long silence, both daring the other to speak. Well, anything to say for yourself? Or are you just gonna keep quiet, keep all of us stupid men in the loop, out of the loop? Sorry. No, I'm sorry. Without notice, she popped off the inhaler and put it in her mouth. The lid of the inhaler and put it in her mouth. She looked at each of them in the eye, finally landing on Mark. He didn't want to look back at her, but he was hypnotized by this snake. He didn't want to memorize the flecks and streaks in her eyes, but something in him needed to know each and every one of them. He couldn't help himself. Her eyes were nothing like Carroll's, soft and brown. The eyes he was locked into now were complicated, pale and understated from a distance. But now that he was close enough, now that he was looking, he saw an entire galaxy in her iris. Abruptly, she placed the inhaler in her mouth and pressed on the canister, breathing in deeply. She lay where she sat and pumped the canister once more before tossing the little tube onto the floor. She stretched like liquid, extending in all directions as her face slowly offered a twisted grin that looked somewhere between bliss and dread. She giggled and ran her fingers through her hair before sitting up to stare at him. Her eyes were glazed and inky now, her pupils so large that the infinite icy shades of blue had been reduced to a gray rim around the overdilated center. Her frizzy hair shot in all directions, her mascara had smudged below her eyes, and yet, as she leaned on her stick-thin arms, Mark couldn't help but wonder what she looked like me. Woo!